you in the wild. Ryan's like, when you used to go out, you are going out. Look at you. You're outside. We're together. You're all attentive. What a great audience. Not a single one of you flinched when that car alarm went off. No one used it as an excuse to get shifty or go outside. You're all like, no, we have an alibi in here together. I'm not getting caught. Where was Will? I love it. It was like a game of Family Feud. Someone shouting out the answer like a fill-in-the-blank poll. Best position in! Inside of it! Car alarm's going beep, beep. What's the best position? Beep, beep. My favorite position is someone's trying to break in! Oh, I don't know the sound of my own car alarm. It could have been me. I have no idea. But I chose to be in here with you all. You're my alibi. Unlike the last two comics, I'm very glad I didn't wear a blazer. Because looking at me in a blazer, you would have thought I was here to sell you a timeshare. And you've all been through enough. You're like, we've sat through some people talking about some shit. But a 10-pool property in Arizona, I don't buy it. It's cool. I love this. I've never been here before. Thank you for having me. I love that you guys are here to support each other through hardship and all of it. Growing up, I didn't really feel like I had someone to turn to in my hard times. I had an immigrant grandmother. Anyone else? Very harsh German lady. She never showed any affection, never even hugged me, even when my dog died. Which was really hard because it means I shot the dog for nothing. That one's for you, Kevin. We got a sick sense of humor in here because you guys have been through too much real shit to care about anything less. I live down in LA and I struggle with my image, mainly because I'm in a city full of some of the most beautiful, commercially, professionally beautiful people, and I'm trying to be an actor, so it's hard because my agent will say things like, hey, you gotta get rid of the bags under your eyes, they make you look old. And I'm like, they're genetic. All the women in my family have them because all the men in my family are exhausting. I'm from Seattle, which has what you might call a rugged beauty, so moving to LA was a total shock. Because I can tell the attractiveness of what city I'm in based on how they react when I say I'm beautiful. If I'm here and I say I'm beautiful, you guys might be like, yeah, you are. You are. I'm in LA, I say I'm beautiful, they're like, ha, she's funny. I did a tour through rural Canada, and when I was there, I was basically a supermodel. Go back to LA, I'm basically a moose. It's a weird business because I only know what I look like based on the roles I'm going out for. And I'm not going out for the femme fatale. I'm not going out for the ingenue. I told my agent, look, lady, I didn't move here to be dead prostitute. She's like, sweetie, no one ever does. It's hard to come to grips with that. I found my first gray hairs. I'm starting to use skin cream at night. I'm realizing as an aging woman in Hollywood that you have to have made it at a certain point to get away with some things. Like, you have to already be a celebrity to get away with not wearing makeup. Pam Anderson doesn't wear makeup. She's an activist. I don't wear makeup. I'm giving up. So far, I've found I have to announce if I'm meeting up with someone that I know I'm not wearing makeup. Because me announcing it seems to be the difference between people thinking I'm brave and people thinking I'm ill. And I feel badly. I've done it to other women when I see them without makeup, women that I know traditionally with a full face. I work at a gym and there's a woman who comes in usually full eyelashes, lips drawn on, and one day she came in with nothing. I was like, oh God, cover up, Jesus. She's like, what? I had an early shift. I'm like, I thought you had cancer. Other changes have been happening. I finally had my first mammogram. Has anyone had that? It snuck up on me. I didn't realize I was already the age where I would have to pay someone to touch my boobs. Even the name of it makes me feel old. Mammogram. I kept fucking with the technician like, can we call it a missogram? She's like, ma'am, you're... You're a little old to be this immature. If any of you are unfamiliar with a mammogram, it's where someone takes your breast and tries to juice it. It's a very weird process. They actually want you to do self-exams at home, but I can't afford an MRI, so I just bought a Vitamix. It's like someone looked at an almond and was like, I wonder if I squeeze it hard enough, I could get something out of it. It's actually the same process by which they get almond milk. They put the almond between two plates and they say, hold still, don't breathe. Thankfully, no milk did come out of these. I had great results, don't worry. No milk, but the doctor did tell me nice jugs. So I'm good. Oh, and my clock is ticking too. I just keep hearing, when are you gonna give me grandkids? I'm like, you're not my parents. Thankfully, my boyfriend and I are on the same page about not having kids. Mostly because I'm happy to avoid that traditional fight that all new parents have. You know, the wife wants a girl, the husband wants a boat. My name is Maxie. It's long for Max and short for my parents wish they had a boy. And I think that's horrible to do to a kid, like worrying about whatever your kid is going to come out as. Who cares whether they come out a boy or a girl? Worrying about whether your kid comes out a boy or a girl is like worrying about whether to paint your house blue or brown. You're going to sink a ton of money into it just for some stranger to take it in 20 years. No one cares about what's on the outside anymore. No one cares whether you're a boy or a girl anymore. All they care about is what is on the inside. They're like, it's got great bones. That's actually on my dating bio. Sorry, sometimes I do use notes. I got an injury to my head that I'm still recovering from called a pixie cut. I know it's easy to complain about being a woman. I do it a lot, so it's pretty easy. But I don't wish any of this on men, mostly because whenever I hear my girlfriends wishing men knew what we went through, picturing it puts it in perspective. They're always like, oh, we get these periods, they're painful, my boobs hurt, I'm cramping. If only men had to go through this too. I'm like, you know what? Thank God men don't go through this too. Women get a period, we get a little weepy. Men get a period, people would die. You want to take a killing machine and mess with its hormonal balance? There would be blood in the streets, theirs and ours. Everyone's like, haha, Mary's on her period, watch out. Everyone's like, Jim's on his period, run! There was some stuff in the news a couple years ago about over the trans controversy, whether some men were trying to transition to being a woman just so they could go to women's prison instead of men's prison. Which I think is pretty naive, to think that any man would fake that, who's ever been around a single woman on her period, would choose to think that being surrounded by angry women was the lighter punishment. I had a sister, I don't even want that. Day one in prison, they'd be like, you're rooming the Chelsea, she talks in her sleep. I'd be like, send me to Max. I spent 40 years in a women's prison, and it was called sorority house. It was in Maryland where they have this law that 5 or more women living in a house together is considered a brothel. Yeah, we actually had a policeman come to our door and cite us. He was like, I could send you to jail. I'm like, take me. All right, you guys haven't spent enough time with women. That's fine. I didn't even notice I was getting older, so I was talking to my therapist. I'm dating a guy about 10 years older than me, and the last girl he dated was 19 when they started dating. And I was telling my therapist, God, this bothers me so much. I'm so worried that there might be some weird power dynamic thing going on. And she's like, no, it's only a problem if it's a pattern. And I'm like, exactly. She's like, no, you're not exactly 19, are you? He's not a predator, he's just settling. Okay. I had to stop seeing my therapist because I was timing my daily coffee about 20 minutes before our session started, and it just kept skewing the results false positive. She would get into session with me just as the caffeine was kicking in. She'd be like, so how are we doing today? I'd be like, fucking great! I don't think we need to be here. So I gave her up rather than giving up coffee. I know I really need to. But I only have the willpower to give up one major thing a year. Like 2 years ago, I gave up alcohol. Thank you. Last year I gave up sugar, and this year I already gave up. So now that I'm in my 30s, I have Gen Z friends, 19, 20-year-olds, who love to tell me about their sex lives, how they're now sexually active, and I'm like, I really don't want to hear about it. Often at my shows, I'll get someone afterwards being like, Maxie, some of your material doesn't seem appropriate for teenagers. I'm like, where do you think I learned this shit? There's this trend teenagers are doing now called vabbing, where they take themselves and they dab it on like perfume.
What?
Yeah, my friend Rachel told me about it. She was like, ew, gross, who wants to smell like a dead rotten smelly fish? I was like, you should get that checked out, Rachel. I'm like, you're teenage girls. You don't need to add scent to attract creepy guys. You'll do it already. So I bought 2 bottles of Jessica. I was like, I need the help. Turns out guys don't like to be fooled into thinking you're younger. They're like, oh, looks 40, smells 12. I love when a guy will get mad about a woman trying to look younger or lying about her age to appear younger on dating sites. If a girl's 16 and says she's 18, a guy will be like, yeah, good enough for me. That's, sure, I believe you. If I'm 34 and I say I'm 20, he's like, that's entrapment. I know some guys have been fooled by women wearing certain type of makeup, and she'll turn around and go, oh, your face looks so much older than the rest of your body. And it's funny to me how guys will get offended by it, like they've been disrespected, show up on a date like, you don't look like your picture. I'm like, well, you could have worked a little harder to fool me too, Brad. They pretend to be so mortally wounded. They're like, you lied to me. I'm like, well, you said we were going to Nobu and we're at Pizza Hut. So who's the liar now? I'm aware there's things I could do about my looks. There's women who do plastic surgery. I can't afford that. I decided to take the moral high road. If I'm going to look like shit, I'm going to look like shit for free. God damn it. Thank you very much. My stepmom, my sister, they love to get filler and facials and lifts and all the peels, and I just don't know how to explain to them. I'm like, guys, you aren't in an industry full of pressure on your looks. If anyone should be getting all that stuff done, it's me, and they are way too quick to agree. I feel bad for women these days who feel like they have to spend their money, or spend their boyfriend's money, on all these body modifications. There's so many things girls are doing. Some of them look like dolls. You've seen girls who go way too far. They look like dolls. And I'm like, oh, sweetie, what man is going to want you when you could have a real doll. Look, I get to say this. I've been a failure as a woman my entire life. When I was a kid, I got bullied for being trans, and it was really hard because I was not trans. Because of my voice and because I dressed in my older brother's hand-me-downs, girls would corner me in the bathroom going, "Maxie's a man! Maxie's a man!" And then right there in front of them, to prove I wasn't a man, I'd have to cry in front of them. I love my voice now. I love it because no one's ever going to accuse me of sounding hysterical. Other girls freak out. They're like, "Oh my God!" I freak out. I'm like, "Oh my God." They're like, "She's taking this eviction really well." I've gotten to the point where I see women online who are so proud of their sexuality, their pussies. It's my pussy's a goddess. My pussy's a goddess. I'm proud of them, but I'm always just like, a goddess, really? Mine's more like an air fryer. Real luxury. At first I was like, I'm gonna use this all the time. And you get older, you're like, takeout's faster. I have no problem. Women can do whatever they want. I have no problem with treating pussies like goddesses, but I hate that it sets up the expectation that you have to treat a dick like God. Hey, I treat my boyfriend's dick like God. I ignore it except for major holidays. Happy Easter, everybody. For the record, because I feel like I didn't really land that plane and I don't want to leave with you guys having a terrible impression of me. When I talk about trans women, and that's men transitioning to women, I don't think there's anything wrong with a man who wants to better himself. My only issue is that it's never the people we wish would chop their dicks off. I just think, stay with me here. I think like once a year we should all get a vote on one man to have his dick chopped off. And we call that elective surgery. All right, I got the only person I need. It's hard to find a good guy out there. I know. I'm very lucky to be the guy I'm with. It's hard to find, especially in LA. I was walking down the street to my car, and I walk in the middle of the street because I'm always afraid someone's going to snatch me from the side. And true to my prediction, a white man was backed up into the street with his back doors open, and I was like, not today, Satan, and I walked around it. And then a car at that exact moment came driving down the street. That kind of forced me back into the doors of the van to avoid being hit by the car. And I was like, oh my God, what if there's a serial killer waiting inside this van who timed it perfectly with his buddy to drive down the street at the exact precise moment to force me right into his trap? No. And I see, what are the odds that you would find a guy who plans ahead? There's like 5 guys in here who are like, that's not funny. I think it's funny how often I think I'm not enough, considering how often I'm told I'm a lot. I gotta get out of here, but I guess I'll leave you guys with this. I'm so grateful to be here. I think we've all got our stuff we're going through, and what helps us is not being afraid of our own things that we're afraid of about ourselves that might be true. I was a weird horse girl growing up. Anyone else? Cool, exactly. I was the type of girl who would be like, nay! And even to this day, I still feel like I've got a little bit of that weird horse girl in me. Doesn't go away. A guy will ask me out in a bar and I'll be like, nay! He'll walk away, I'll see he has a swastika tattoo, I'm like, thanks you guys, I've been Max Ridger, have a good night.